Welcome to the Holy Hour Podcast. It's the bi-weekly all-cure podcast. I'm Gavin, and I'm joined by Chaz and Antonio. Hello, fellas.
Hello,
everyone.
Yes, as we wrap up summer, we have a wonderful episode for you guys out there. We have legit 100% as of this morning actual cure news. We haven't had any real headlines in very long time, and sure enough, a mysterious email showed up today with some legit cure news on there, because we even got a wave through the social medias. I don't know if you guys noticed, everybody was posting some like really nothing clickbait about the new album.
Oh yeah.
That
was so fucking annoying.
Everybody was reposting it. I was just like, what? There's like nothing in here. If anything, it was just kind of a good summary of all the bullshit we've heard for the past 5 years.
Yeah, I mean, it's also just proof that people only read headlines and then assume they know what's going on. Which is just how we consume our news now.
Exactly. So really reassuring, really good. But maybe
it said on there, like, didn't it say something like that? It was the release date was inside like the headline or something.
Yeah. It said Cure announces release date. Yeah, that was the only reason why I clicked on it. I was like, sweet, all right, here we go.
And now that we've all got a virus on our computer,
seriously,
exactly. But
our info's been sold to the Russians.
Yes. But like we said, big announcement today. And as of the recording it, so this is all going to go down tomorrow in some form or another. The Cure is releasing a limited edition eco vinyl, and they are teaming up. I'll summarize the official press release here for you guys. The Cure is teaming up with Naked Record Club and a climate charity called Earth Percent to release a limited edition double A-side 12-inch single on eco vinyl. So here's the deal. 5,000 individually numbered copies of Novembre live in France from the 2022 portion of the Shows of a Lost World tour. It's going to be two of the live new songs, and Nothing Is Forever, and I Could Never Say Goodbye on the flip side there. And it's live versions. It's coming out officially on October 1st. But only 5,000 copies out there. They're also doing a 100 of those 5,000 limited edition Robert autograph. And that one's going for 250 euros. Yeah, which would be about 277 US dollars. The unsigned one is 25 euros, going for about 28 bucks for two songs.
I know. It is pretty limited, though. From a vinyl standard, 5,000 is a small amount. But
so with that, we have a whole other theme for this episode, but we have to tackle this. And there's a lot of initial pluses, I have a positives and a negative section, and then a lot of in-between thoughts on this. The only other tidbits, there was an NME article that popped up shortly after this where it just elaborated a little further, saying that Brian Eno is the dude in charge of that Earth Percent charity, or at least has a huge part to do with it, and the Naked Record Club owner guy is a huge Cure fan and had just been dying to do something to work with the Cure too. So this was a whole dream come true to release any kind of Cure thing.
Well, this also does mean that there's probably a shit ton of live recordings from that tour.
Yeah. They said at one point they were recording it in some form or another every show. So I heard that somewhere. I think it was either just something Robert always does, or, I think on some level they're always recording everything. So it's a very cool, like I said, it's 5,000 limited, like you said, one copy per person when you order. So that makes it a little tough, So, but good, I guess. So that'll stop the scalpers from getting it and posting them 5 seconds later. And it's supposed to ship 1st of October. So this won't be something that gets delayed and comes out 3 years from now. Hopefully, I guess that's always a possibility. But,
right, because it's they're saying pre-order, but with it being this many, only 5,000, I'm sure they're already in hand.
Yeah. So here's my quick positives, and you guys chime in to see if you're on board, and then we'll do the negatives too. The positives being that there's, 2 high-quality live versions of these songs that will be out in the world, documented. We can play them whenever we want, constantly if we want, and that's great because we really don't know where these new songs are going to go at this point, and the cover art looks rad, so from a collector's point, I'm not really crazy about that. I just want the damn songs at this point, but it looks good. $32 is kind of, was it 32 or 28? I think it's pretty steep for 2 songs, but it is for charity. At least we can say that's fine, and I'll give them a pass for that. No other band I would do that for at all. Pay $28 for a single probably, but unless it was some old ass thing, but even then that's a lot. But for charity, good cause, and this might be the only versions we get of these songs, so I guess that's a positive. The other positive is a hopefully positive in the sense that they put this out, and even if it takes like another month or something, hopefully they'll put it on streaming too, so we can listen to them and have the backup factor. If we can't score these things tomorrow, then it's not just lost out there. So hopefully they'll put it on streaming, because if they don't, then we're all back in the same fucking spot anyway, where somebody's going to strip it, the audio, and put it on YouTube, and we're listening to some YouTube version, and we have to question if the dude did a good enough job stripping the audio from the vinyl, so I don't know. Any other huge positives before we dive into some of the shady stuff of this? You guys feel pretty good about that?
It's cool. Like, I'm glad it's a charity and everything. That's cool, but that's about it.
Okay.
I don't know. I do feel like this gives me a little bit more hope that the actual record is close to like being finished or being put out or not going to get shelved.
Okay.
Because I don't think live versions, put out in this way on an actual vinyl and like legitimate, and they called it a double A side, so not like a B side to something else.
Yeah.
I don't think he wants those to be the only versions of those songs that he put out.
Yeah.
Especially with how personal they are to him. It's not full justice to the songs that he clearly poured like a lot into from an emotional standpoint. I think he's going to want to really see the other versions of them come to light and not leave those as the only ones. So that's kind of where it gives me a little bit more hope than
a
negativity.
negative with a positive spin, and that kind of the more I thought about it was leaning that way too. Because initially, what Chaz says when we were texting back and forth, I was like, "This is bad news in a sense," because this feels like they're just putting it out and that's it. But I guess the bad news side of that is that the new album is probably definitely not this year. We're not getting any surprise 2024 release, I think, because how they never double anything up. So like if this is coming out in October, then nothing's coming out in November probably, and won't put something out in December. So we're already going into maybe his birthday.
Yeah, and with vinyl these days, it's almost at the amount that they would press for an actual album. There would definitely be a pre-sale before it would actually come out. So, you figure the pre-sale is going to be at least a couple months before they mail it, because when you're pressing that many. So with us being around the corner from September, I guess it still could be a December release. Yeah. But
not likely. So
that we can all get it for Christmas.
Right.
No, we're going to be back here in mid-December talking about what to expect in 2025.
When we're wrapping up the year.
Next year is gonna be the year, guys.
Yeah.
We have to make sure we don't say the same exact thing we said in our wrap up episode from 2023 though.
Maybe I could just cut and paste it and save us it.
Probably.
But I liked what you were saying though, because I got thinking on that too, is that maybe this means that these live versions are a way of like just getting it out there, and because he knows that the studio ones will be out before too long, maybe, like it's kind
Yeah.
of like I'm not wasting them on that, and like you said, they are super personal songs, so it's not like Step Into the Light or something, because the kind of
Right.
contradiction is he did leave It Can Never Be the Same and Step Into the Light out in live purgatory in a sense. I would think they wouldn't do that with
Yeah.
any songs, but as of now, those are that one on Curation is the only one that we're
Right.
probably ever
Yeah.
gonna
Yeah.
get of those songs, unless
Yeah, I'm also very curious on just how it works from a record label standpoint, because their label that's also waiting for this record to come out is like, oh, cool, you're gonna give them two of the songs, but the
Well, they don't
album's
really
still not
have
done.
I mean, they don't really have a label, but like, I get, yeah, I don't think they're on anybody's timeline or anything. So I don't
Well, I don't
think
think they're gonna
it,
necessarily self-release the record when it comes out.
no, but I don't, I think they could just pretty much just go to any label at this point in time and
Yeah, I
just
mean
been like, here,
that's
let's
actually
put
that's
this
a good
out.
question. I don't even know if they're technically
They
under
could
contract
do
with
it.
anyone.
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, I think the Universal is their company right now with like with all the releases and all their back catalogs, but I don't know about the newer stuff. But
yeah. But yeah, I mean that's only concerning too in the sense of yeah, they don't even probably have a label yet, so that's gonna add another at least 3 months onto whatever the hell they're still waiting. So I mean, this is something we've talked about forever too, where it's like they might not even have the paperwork done yet or anything,
yeah,
so who knows? But
Yeah.
I feel like something is up with that record. I mean, they could have recorded this thing. I mean, it's obvious, but at the same time, weird in the sense. I mean, even since the last tour ended, at the end of last year, they could have recorded the whole album once a month, and we'd have 8 versions of this album by now. So I mean,
Well,
it's
especially with uh how frequent
yeah,
Simon has been posting on his Instagram, has posted more in the last two like week and a half than he has in the last 2 years. They're
yeah.
all random, but I'm like, oh, you got time to ride your bike?
Yeah, yeah.
Putting any
Nobody
bass
seems
tracks?
particularly busy. Reeves has been doing a lot of those like gigs with his other
yeah.
bands and stuff. So I mean, he's definitely not slaving away in the studio or something, So I mean, it's got to
Right.
be like
Well,
done at this point, even if they re-recorded it 5 times since the last time we thought it was done. But I don't
it's all
know,
in
man.
Robert's hands. Nobody else has anything else to do about it. Like
Yeah.
they've
Yeah.
recorded everything,
Everything
and
possible.
yeah,
So I mean, another theory could be that they are putting them all out live, and this is like kind of a single to that, and maybe they will just put out like a 6 song version that's just the live versions, and that'll be it. That was one of our theories back. I don't see them doing that at this point because they've invested so much fucking time into it and talked about
Well,
it. They could,
here's the thing.
yeah.
If these two songs were the only ones we heard that were going to be on the record, I would still be leaning that way.
uh
But because they played so many on that tour, I'm
yeah.
like,
Yeah, they're not going to just let Alone and End Song disappear at this point. So
yeah.
You
Like,
guys are so optimistic. You guys are way too optimistic here.
I think we're gonna get it, but it's still gonna be like 5 more years from now. I mean, we're gonna get the fucking thing. It's gotta be done. I just don't want it to be some still half finished version, and we get it 10 years now from when he's dead or something.
yeah. I
don't
mean,
want
this
it
is
to.
going to be a really shitty hot take, but I'm going to fucking say it.
Okay.
Like, I think the only way this record does not come out is if they completely break up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
And even then,
Again, you're being way too optimistic.
Dude,
I'm
I'm a
saying-
Mets fan. What do you want
I'm
from me?
saying death, man. That's like the only way we're getting this, but
Only way
it's
we're getting
yeah, it's a little frustrating to me because I I understand. Is this going to be a digital thing at all? Do you guys
I
know?
don't
It
know.
doesn't
They haven't said
say.
yet. So.
Yeah.
So
And
that's gonna be that's the part I fucking hate the most is like
Yeah. If it
you
doesn't
could
come out
make it
digital,
a,
I'm gonna be pissed.
Yeah.
you can make it a $5 digital thing and raise all that money for charity and everybody's gonna buy it.
Yeah,
You
but
know,
you could also set it to where the streaming automatically goes to whoever you want. So they could set it up where if they do stream it, all the stream revenue goes to the charity as well. So it doesn't even have to be put out on like a CD or a purchase only. They can
No,
still
I'm just
live
talking like an
stream it.
iTunes
Yeah.
thing or something like that.
Right.
And
Yeah,
Yeah.
hopefully they'll.
I don't want to have to wait on one of these lucky people to hear those songs, and then
Yeah.
like you said, you have to, you're hoping that it's the best possible rip that you can get, but you don't know until you hear
Till it
another
has
version of it.
their stamp on it. Yeah, because
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like, yeah, because that's what there's already good touched up versions on YouTube. We could
Hmm.
just listen to those nonstop, but there's still,
Yeah.
it's the same shit I had with Lost Wishes, where it just something always still bugged me. I was like, I don't know if Robert didn't officially say this is the best
Yeah.
quality version you're hearing, I'm never going to be 100% satisfied with it. And we're just talking about live songs here, so
You might say they're only live songs, but these might be the only songs you
version we
get.
get. Yeah, so
Yeah.
exactly.
So
But that's
like,
why it would be frustrating if they don't put it on streaming, because then we're not even getting the official version
Yeah.
of the official live
Yeah.
version. That's the
Yeah.
only version we have. So it's kind of like, oh god, at least put it on stream. Well, I think they will. Hopefully, that seems like it would be a no.
you would hope so. I don't know. Like this is, I don't know. Everything that's been going on with them with like the re-releasing and like all the other bullshit, and now with this, it's like you're giving us everything that we don't want. Like, I mean, this is cool and everything, and I'm glad it's for charity, but like, I don't like the fact that you're putting two new songs on it that nobody else can get unless you're lucky enough to be able to buy it,
Yeah.
which I don't think is cool to do to your fans. But I just don't like the idea of releasing the only two songs that are available to the fans for the new album that's supposedly coming out at some point, to only be available for people that can either
Yeah.
afford it, because that's a
50 10
price
for two songs.
for
Yeah.
two songs, that's the price of what, like an LP of like that they would put out.
Yeah.
And you have to wait in the queue, and not everybody's gonna be able to be there at 9 in the morning in our time,
Right.
so
Yeah, like,
it's
or I was thinking about Scott in freaking California.
6
Yeah.
That
a.m.
means he's got to get up at like 5 something in the morning to sit in the queue.
yeah. It doesn't help that 9 o'clock is like peak rush hour either here.
Right.
In
Swerving
the
on the roads.
Northeast.
Yeah.
It's just like, what the fuck? It's like,
Yeah.
so
And yeah,
you
even
know,
not
yeah.
telling us that it might be on streaming, it might not. So we're all gonna at least be like, well, I gotta try, I guess, because this might be the only
Yeah.
shot at this. That is tough. Yeah, that's.
But like,
So-
yeah, like I don't think it's gonna hit. It's definitely not hitting this year, the new
Yeah.
album. And if we don't hear anything, I want to say by like March or April of next year, when it's not coming out next year either.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, who knows? At this point, every theory we've had has been wrong.
Yeah.
But every theory everybody's had has been wrong. So I
Yeah.
don't feel like we're missing anything. It's like you can't predict anything, It's like,
Yeah. Well, just with the amount of backup there is with the vinyl plants and what you would hear just by moving that many units.
Yeah. So,
The news would get out eventually, but like that would be, I don't know what the wait is, like 5-6 months for
who knows?
vinyl, and
Half
like
of that
so
is-
Yeah, if Taylor
Yeah.
Swift would get off fucking tour, maybe the people could press records.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So if you don't hear by March, you're if 6 months ahead of time, you're already into the late fall. So it's yeah. So that's my estimation,
And
my
these
guess
kind of,
from
and as
now
cool
on.
as this is, yeah, it keeps pushing everything back. There was at least a faint bit of hope that in the last quarter we might get something still, even though it wasn't looking promising already. But
Yeah.
this totally kind of kicks that back. So, one other weird wrinkle that I was thinking about was, all right, so especially with the idea of like they're just going with the live versions or whatever, or that people kind of hinted that maybe by playing them so much on the tour that whatever they had recorded previously they didn't like anymore because things had morphed and changed a little bit, even though not really by our ears or standards, but something where he probably wanted it to sound tighter or something. Maybe it was looser during the initial recordings. But these recordings on this single coming out, they're from like 1 month into the European tour. So there's no way these are even like the defining live versions, probably in his mind, I would assume, because it's like after playing all of North America and all of South America, like the songs definitely had gotten tighter. You know, this was like 1 month in France.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm sure they're great, and I trust him to choose the best versions at whatever, you know, and we probably could scour through all the YouTube footage and find these versions already from France, you know, but
that's gonna be the funniest thing is like if there's a better version like that somebody has just on YouTube of what they put out. And it's like, son of a...
So I mean, but I just thought it was weird that it's from so early at it, you know, especially with the idea if he wasn't happy with the recording stuff post tour, you know, or I'm like, well, these were good enough then, so why? So just a little food for thought there that was interesting, but so I don't know. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna try. You know, I'll be able to get in there. Hopefully, and lock something down. You think you guys are gonna try then? Or it's right in the thick of work time and everything, right?
Therapy starts at 9 a.m. So we'll see. We'll see.
You could do it together at therapy. It'll be part of it.
Yeah.
And then
I'm like, we just got back from vacation, and I don't know if it's like, hey babe, I'm gonna spend $40 on 2 songs.
Yeah.
Is probably isn't the best way to go.
Yeah.
I know. I think I'm going to, but it's also like one of those things where I don't know, if I log on and I see that I'm like 4,000th person in a queue, I'm just gonna be like, nope.
Yeah, this isn't worth it.
That's where I was to think the whole damn thing's gonna crash anyway. It's like this every time with these type of things where, oh, we didn't anticipate people would be this excited, or the demand was so. It was like, what would you think? You know, everybody wants this album. If we're gonna get anything, you're only putting out 5,000 copies of this. Of course, it's gonna crash and stuff. But who knows? Maybe they got a tight enough ship here. You know,
it'll be okay. I'm sure there'll be people on those Cure collecting sites that have like 35 of them.
Yeah, somehow.
You know, and then it's just like, yeah, that's cool, I guess.
Yeah,
seriously.
And you know these are gonna get jacked up in price too.
Anybody
to get one and reselling, it's gonna be 3 times that price by the time it goes up. So so that's the negative side.
Guys.
But yeah, like I said, hopefully they'll put it on streaming. It's still cool. Yeah, we'll do what we can and make something out of it. So I'll keep you posted. By the time this episode or whatever form of this episode gets posted, I'll know at least if I got one or not. So I'll tell you how it all works out. Stay tuned to the end of the episode. But any other thoughts on that before we move on to today's official topic?
No, I'm just a grumpy asshole. That's
all right. You're not the only one out there, I'm sure, that's feeling this push and pull with this. But
it's September, and every day I just keep thinking of Simon's little tirade on about that the album is actually real and coming out, and I'm like, okay,
that's
all right, sure.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll move on from there and to be continued on that front. All right, I got one. So mission accomplished over here. It was starting to feel a little bit like Cure ticket buying deja vu, and as I sat down and started watching the ticker clock going, and as you clicked on it, it put you in a queue to finally purchase it. I was like, this is where it's going to go horribly wrong and crash, or it says, sorry, sold out. But nope, all went pretty flawless, really. And hope you guys got yours if you were trying to this morning. And if anything, it went a little too smoothly, because it turned out the record's $29 and shipping $17. So depending on your currency, it could have been a lot more even, apparently. So a cozy $46 US total. So that's $23 a song. So I hope these live versions are good, and I hope this helps save the planet somehow. So, the button's pushed at this point, so I'm happy. I'm excited. Can't wait to get this. But that is, a pretty steep price tag. Of course, $17. A lot of that is the shipping. So can we get back to fucking CDs already? Come on, this vinyl thing's killing me. But here we are. So it looks great. I can't wait now. I'm gonna put all the bitching aside from the earlier portion and look forward to getting this. Hopefully October 2nd or so, but it'll probably take a little longer to get here. I know Antonio was able to land a copy. Chaz is gonna hold off due to the price tag, and he's just standing his ground on this one. So who knows? But yeah, unfortunately, I tried to hit 2. It had a quantity thing. I was like, maybe they were just lying to scare people off. Maybe I can get Chaz a copy. It did look like you could get back in and do it again. And it surprisingly didn't sell out as fast as I thought. So hopefully, if you're still curious at this point, and it's probably going to be Sunday at some time when you hear this, worth a shot. It might be there still. I know the autograph ones sold out super quick. It looked like those went fast. So good in my case. I don't need to spend $270 for an autograph I didn't even see Robert sign. But I know a lot of people would love that. So if you got one of those, I hope you're happy with your decision, and I am very happy for you when you proudly unpackage this wonderful record with autograph. I'll look forward to it, and yeah, so very fun. Always cool to order something new for The Cure, even if it puts a dent in the wallet or doesn't totally make sense 100%. But like I said, hopefully great quality. I really don't want some shitty bootleg sounding record. So hopefully this will be top notch, best live versions of these songs that we could ever hope for. All right, let's put a wrap on this talk and head into the actual episode. What do you say? Cure tattoo time.
Say goodbye.
You badasses out there.
Here twos.
Cure twos for sure. And we had quite a few of you who were super sweet and sent in not only a little write-up of your tattoo and the process, but showed us a picture. It's going to be a little tricky us trying to describe each tattoo, so we will post these on the Facebook and Instagram pictures and such, but for the sake of the episode, we're going to have to use your words and our words to describe your tattoos. And but before we dive in to listener contributions, just on the top, going from all this push and pull hate with the idea of these songs that we'll never get to officially hear. Tattoo, right? Isn't that kind of the stereotype, is that it's like the most like ultimate sign of love and devotion, right? Not even just Cure related, of course, like just in general, you get your sweetheart's name on your chest, your baby child's name on your belly or whatever, you gotta put that tattoo on it. That means you're serious business, right? So,
Well, in some cases, it's actually bad luck.
oh yeah,
yeah.
That's kind of why. Yeah, I don't have any tattoos. So on the top here, I'll confess, I not for a real reason. I've always just thought about it and figured, well, I don't know if I'll like the same thing long enough, like. But I'm notorious for everything I loved in like 6th grade. I still love now.
Yeah,
The Cure,
Indiana Jones,
yeah, fucking Star Wars and
Lemonheads,
skateboarding. Yeah, so I'm like a fucking middle
I'm
school.
gonna fucking hate the
kid.
Lemonheads in 5 years. I don't know when to.
Exactly. I should have had all these tattoos, but I just never got around to it. Cure ones are tricky. But like you're saying, I didn't want to jinx it, that's why I never got like a girl's tattooed name on my arm or something, because I feel like, that's going to totally.
When I used to work at
jinx
tattoo
me.
shops, man, the amount of people I had to talk out of getting their like boyfriend or girlfriend's name tattooed on them was like insane. I was like, you're just going to be back here to cover it up in a year.
Well, we should start with you guys then. How about how many tattoos in general you got? You guys got quite a few, right?
Yeah, I mean, really take account, but like I I don't have any on my back just because I like back itching is like the worst thing in the world to me. So like I couldn't handle it because I would ruin
The
my tattoo in
itchy
like
healing
in
process.
in less than a day. But yeah, I have quite a few. They usually all mean like pretty significant something to me. Like the first thing I said to my kids that made them laugh. I
Nice.
have one of the only tattoos Kurt Cobain had is a K shield for K Records. I have that on me.
Cool.
I have my son. One of my sons is a Cupid doll, and another one with his name on my arm in different letters. And then I have like some wrestling tattoos on me, so that's kind of weird.
Yeah.
And I have Reggie White from the Philadelphia Eagles tattooed on the back of my leg. And something from Hot Water Music tattooed on the other part of my leg, and something from my
Okay.
grandmother, and like so it goes all over the place.
Yeah.
Um,
That's
and I debated for the longest time of getting a Cure tattoo. Like ever since I liked the band, I didn't know what to get, and I still don't really know if I like my choice, but I wanted to get something done.
yeah.
And I originally wanted to get knuckle tattoos,
Yeah.
but then I realized I would have to get hand tattoos because just knuckle tattoos look stupid. Um,
Good
so
point.
but then I was like, man, I can't really do like if I want to get like any type of job outside of Trader Joe's. But now I'm
Yeah, it's
working with
tough.
dogs now, so I'm kind of like, maybe I'll do it.
Well, get
So
the. Yeah, I
yeah,
was surprised nobody
possibly.
had that. I'm sure somebody out there. I was thinking of like just because Cure fits perfectly on your.
Well, we talked about it when I was down there seeing you. We talked about
Yeah,
like getting the wish tattoo across the other hand and how that would really look really good with
that
the
would look
font.
cool. Yeah,
I think that would look really cool. But yeah, so one of my favorite tattoo artists, Nate, when he was still in the area, he was leaving to move to Maryland, and my wife and I went to him for like a whole afternoon, and we were like, do a bunch of different things on us. And I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna get a Cure tattoo before he leaves, and I didn't want the Boys Don't Cry silhouette, and I felt like that's kind of overdone. And sorry if you have it. It's nothing against you. It's not for me.
Yeah.
And my wife actually had a Cure tattoo before me.
Mm,
Uh, and
Wow.
she on her right calf, I think, is a picture. There's like a heart and there's a bunny rabbit coming out of a hat. And it says, show me, show me, show me, how you do that trick. So that's on her leg. And
nice.
then, so then I was like, well, I got to get something now. So then I was going through all my records and like trying to find something. And I was thinking maybe Letter to Release artwork or even Caterpillar artwork. But then I was just like,
Yeah,
I'm going to get the fucking quad puss and it's going to be blue. And
yeah.
like, that's all I got. And it's like on a little part of my forearm here. And there's like no outline to it. So it's just the blue quad puss
Right.
with the one black eye. And yeah, that's about it. I don't know if I'll get more. Um,
Yeah, it's
I
a
don't
hard
know.
one, as we look over all these Cure woods because, you kind of want something that's like like a symbol, you know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
like you could either go full on Robert Face or the Cure font
which is
in a thing,
brave.
Yeah, we'll get into that, but
Yeah.
um, or something that's like a, if you know it, you know it kind of thing. Like any Cure fan sees your quad puss on there, they're gonna be like, oh yeah,
They
shit,
know, right,
cool,
yeah.
man, yeah. And it's
Yeah.
like a little secret code kind of thing, But then it's weird because as like Cure fans, I feel like we overanalyze everything so much that I'd be like, oh man, close to me or something must be like totally personal. So you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like a lot of people have the high bird, rooster, whatever. We'll hear all the different
Yeah.
names of what everybody thinks that is, but a lot of them aren't really necessarily about the song high, you know what I mean? And I see that and I initially
Yeah.
just think high, and I'm like, oh man, but I love the song, but I don't know if that's the one I want on my body forever, kind of thing.
Yeah,
So
that's
it's,
that is another issue. And like we're gonna talk about it here, but the like Fascination Street was one I wanted to get tattooed, but I
Yeah.
didn't fucking have any clue what I wanted to get
Hey.
tattooed for that.
You're not gonna
You
get the
know?
single cover where it just says the letters real big.
Yeah, and I'm like,
Right,
what is
right,
that gonna
yeah.
look like? You know? So, but yeah, I definitely enjoy more of the interpretations of
Yeah.
certain things rather than, you know, I feel like mine's unoriginal after looking at some of these. So,
Yeah, it's crazy all the different
yeah,
directions they can go into. But Quadpuss is definitely a
yeah.
solid choice. I think it looks
Thank
great.
you.
Good colors too, and everything. So, yeah,
Yeah.
very
And I'd
cool.
say, I mean, for me, like, obviously, I mean, I would say like close to 70% of my body is covered in tattoos. So it's like how
Right on.
many I have. I stopped
Yeah.
counting a long time ago. You know, because it's like when stuff starts to come into like full sleeves and filler, it's like how do you count what's one individual one? You
Yeah.
know, like it
Right.
just like I stopped counting probably 16 years ago. Um, but you know, I have a lot of tattoos for bands and for music. Being like such a music fanatic and it being such an important part of my life. You know, all my tattoos have like deep meaning. I've almost never just, you know, gone and said, I'll take that, you know,
Right.
like pointing at the wall like it used to be back in the day. It was just, you know, like all that other stuff. I mean, even, you know, the only like technical like pieces of flash I necessarily have are like really tributes to you know, to the tattooers that paved the way. Like I do have a Sailor Jerry Sparrow on me because, you know, Sailor Jerry, you know, was just someone that really, you know, pushed, you know, tattooing forward. And it was like a birthday present to myself at a time when my life was changing and everything. And it just, you know, but it was like, you know, I'm still me, you know, my tattoos can live there. I'm going to go through a bunch of different things in my life, but it's still me. Like, so there was
Right.
just like a thing about it. And I hadn't gotten a Cure tattoo yet because with how much I love them, it was very indecisive on what to get. You
Right.
know, like some bands make it very easy. Like I have a Social Distortion tattoo. You know what I mean? Like one of
Yeah.
my favorite bands
Minor
ever.
threat.
And
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and it's like so it's very easy to be like, "Oh, cool, you've got the fucking skeleton with the martini glass smoking." Like, yep, social, you know, like
Yeah.
it's easy because of their artwork. You know, I do have lyrics from like my favorite Long Island band ever, Inside. I have, you know, like all these things that are, you know, and I was trying to figure out what am I going to do? What am I going to do? But I always save the spot on the leg where I have pretty much all my band tattoos on the back of my calf because it's one of the easier spots to tattoo. So, probably about probably like 4 or 5 years ago, I was like really deciding. I was like, all right, fuck it, I'm gonna do it. Um, my friend Chris does amazing black and gray work. He does phenomenal portraits. I mean, he's been tattooing me since I was 18 and I'm 46. So that'll tell you how old he is. You know, and you know, him and I kept going back and forth. So, um, I said to him, you know, I actually put a lot of it in his hands. I was like, listen, I want to get a Robert Smith portrait because, you know, I think it's one of the easiest things to do. The Cure is not known, as we've said a million times, on their artwork for their records, at least not stuff that would really translate, you know, always to a tattoo, you know, because I've worked in tattoo studios, I've tattooed before, you know, had friends that I've watched them go through apprenticeships and understanding like what works on a certain part of the body and what tattoo will last and how you have to do it, you know, is something that I'm very aware of. So I said to Chris, like, here's the spot I'm getting it. You know, I want to get Robert Smith. You love The Cure too. Like, what? Let's help me dig for photos because I was going
Okay.
through tons of photos, you know, like, and there's so many different ones, and there's so many Robert doing ridiculous faces, and you know, like, so I was
Right.
like back and forth, and then he's actually the one that came up with. He was like, "Yo," he's like, "Believe it or not, I was on eBay because he's also a record collector." And you know, I guess he was doing so much Googling of Cure images that one of the suggested things for him on eBay was a Cure 7 inch, a Cure 45. And it was the Let's Go to Bed with Boys Don't Cry on the B-side. This little guy right here. And he was like, yo, he's like, this is a not very common one. I didn't even find it when I was straight up just looking for images of Robert, because you'd have to really be like digging more and like looking up the vinyl. He was like, it's really good black and gray. Like, I what do you think of this? And as soon as I like clicked on it, when he emailed it to me, I was like, yeah, that's it. You know, I was like, let's go. You know, like, so, and it fit the spot because I had him trace the area that I had available, so he knew what would fit there as well.
Yeah.
So we were super strategic, and like, no joke, we're talking like, I was looking up images for like a month before I pulled him in on help, and then it was like another week of us going back and forth. Now the funny thing is that, you know, Chris being a vinyl collector and being the tattoo artist that he is, he bought the 7-inch on eBay because he was like, what better, you know, I don't want to look at my computer screen for a reference or print it out, because the second I print it out, it's going to lose some of its artistic integrity that I'm trying to copy. So he's like, he literally had like a photocopy of it, his sketch of it, and the 7-inch in front of him on the table as he was tattooing me. And then, you know, I jokingly said to him, I was like, whatever you're going to charge me for the tattoo, tack on the 7-inch. She's like, hell no, man, this one's mine. So I'm like, damn it. Until I scored an original Motley Crue Girls 7-inch first press. And he's like a Motley Crue nut, and he's a first press kind of guy. And he, like, I posted a picture of it and I texted it to him, and he was like, yo, I'll trade you the Cure 45 for the for the Motley Crue 45. And I was like, done. I fucking ran over to the tattoo shop. We made a little swap. And now I own the 7-inch that he had found it on, that he bought, that he used, you know, that he kind of used as the reference on my leg. And I love it. I do think I'm going to add to it. I think I'm going to actually put one of the Cure logos underneath it, because I do get people asking me, like, is that Edward Scissorhands? And I'm like, no, it's not fucking Edward Scissorhands. But, and then I flip around and I tell them, you know, Edward Scissorhands was inspired by Robert Smith's look and blah, blah, blah. And I'll nerd out on people and talk about how they wanted him to do the soundtrack, but he couldn't, and now they're friends. Blah.
And they're like, I'm sorry I asked.
All right, I just want to say thanks. I really like it.
Yeah, and as far as getting others, I probably would say I would, but there are still... I'm limited on space, and there are still things that I've wanted to get throughout the years. So until I get some of the other important ones that have, you know, kind of have a lot of meaning to me, I'll probably still like hold off. You know, it's not to say that somewhere I won't jam some lyrics or something as some filler around something else, or
you can put some
little
fluorescent
things like
socks around it or something.
Right, exactly.
I told you not to get that No Fear tribal tattoo that you
Like,
really wanted, but it was like
It's
goes all the way around your arm. That's taking
all
up
You
too
can
much
do that in
space.
Cure letters and make it like a Cure code.
And you know, it's like I try to be different about my tattoo. I mean, and like I get it. Like certain people's band tattoos are always gonna kind of be similar. Like there's a million fucking Kill Your Idols skulls tattoos out there, but like the one that I got happens to be from the back of one of the 7-inches, and happens to be one of the only ones that my buddy Gary, who plays guitar in Kill Your Idols, actually drew himself. And I didn't even know that he drew it before I got it. When I showed it to him, he was like, "That's the one I drew," and I was like, "Oh, sick!"
Awesome.
You know, but like my Get Up Kids tattoo, like I got, you know, like one of the robots from the cover of Something to Write Home About. So it's a little different, and people that know, you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's,
I
you know,
I have the first Lifetime 7-inch tattooed on my ribs, and that'll be the last tattoo I get on my ribs.
Oh, I know, dude. I have a
So-
bat on my ribs, and I almost tapped. That's the first time I almost bailed out and was like, "Nope, don't finish it. I'm done. I'll see you later." You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, I'll make up some story. I'll be like, yeah, the tattoo artist had a heart attack and died in the middle of it. And I don't want someone else to finish it because it would just be disrespect to his family. And
Yeah.
Cool. Well, your portrait looks great, and something was, you know, it's a very dangerous world out there of getting Robert's face on it, so that's like good trust of your artist, and yours came out great that way.
Yeah.
But you could see there's definitely on some Google searches out there of ones of portraits where it was like, whoa, what's going on here with his face there? And it's,
Yeah.
so that would be scary.
You also get what you pay for when it comes to tattoos.
Yeah, is
And,
that,
unless you like really know someone that's been doing it a long time, like you pay properly.
yeah.
So,
Totally. I guess reactions on yours, Chaz. Have you had anybody catch it and call it out and be like, "Oh shit"?
no,
cool
nobody's
quad
ever,
puss.
nobody's ever seen it.
Weird.
And said anything. The tattoo I get the most comments on is probably the Cupid doll that I have. It's got like a Philadelphia Flyers jersey on it.
Yeah.
Has my son's initials underneath it, and then probably the donut tattoo or the Ultimate Warrior tattoo I have.
Right on.
So yeah. Yeah, and then also on like the back of one of my I already said that about the Reggie White tattoo, which is
Yeah.
like a giant picture of a giant black man on the back of my leg.
Right. People are like, "So what's going
Yeah,
on there?"
people are like, "What's going on with that?" But like,
Reggie White.
yeah, it's Reggie White. And then like I have a whole arm of like from Field of Dreams.
Uh-huh.
I got that for my father after he passed away. It just says, "Hey, Dad, you want to have a catch?" and it has a baseball on it. And then
Nice.
I have like a whole sleeve, like whole upper part of my arm here is all band stuff.
Right.
So it's got like this band, the Cro-Mags, the Misfits, Kill Your Idols, which Antonio was talking about, Dag Nasty, the Descendants, Gorilla Biscuits. I think I said that already.
All
Like,
kind of merged together there.
yeah, Black Flag and Minor Threat and a bunch of other shit.
Awesome.
I do have my wife's name tattooed on the inside of my arm, but
There
that's
you
about
go. Was that
the
early
only-
on, or did you?
No,
get that
no,
After
no,
you'd been
no.
established.
Yeah.
Wasn't first date or anything.
No.
That's good.
Yeah, it was. Oh man, it was 10 years ago or so. But like we've been together for almost 20 years now.
Nice.
So, but yeah, and yeah, that was a weird one asking for that because I know the person who was doing it, and I was like, and they were like, "Are you sure?"
You
And I'm
sure?
like, "Yeah."
Absolutely. Very cool. Awesome. Well, I guess we can dive into some
Let's just dive
listener
into this.
contributions here, and Antonio can join us in. All right. Well, I will kick off this first one here, since this one was from Thomas, was the first one we received, I believe, and his write-up for this tattoo says, "My tattoo is a combination of Carnage Visor's visuals, the crying robot soldier on my arm from Simon's Brothers animation movie, the film they played, and the strange froggy thing on my scapula, which is like the skeleton deal that's on the little cover for Carnage Visors, and both combined in a cloudy atmosphere." He says, "Faith era and especially Carnage Visors means a lot to me. The bass line on this long soundtrack is amazing, hypnotic, and really avant-garde, instrumental for 1981. Repetitive, extra long. You know what I mean. I wish I could have seen this tour, but I was 8 years old at the time. It's a shame for the full movie isn't available anywhere. And so far, I don't think I'll get another one, but who knows." And keep your page running. Cheers, Thomas. So yeah, I totally agree. Wish the film was out there, but yeah, this one has a lot going on. It's definitely
This one's fucking badass. I love this one.
You down with this one?
I love the shading on this, and I love the cloud work on it. And like I had to sit there and look at it for a couple seconds before I read what you were reading to see what it was, and I was just like, "Oh yeah, that's fucking awesome."
Yeah, because the only footage we have of that film has like this little robot dude walking around, and that's him right there with a house with smoke coming up out of it, and
I know the bottom of that house had to hurt right there on your elbow, man.
Yeah, that's it's gonna be pretty rough.
Yeah,
And,
and all the black work up at the top of your arm there, that doesn't tickle.
Yeah. So how long does that take? You think? Is that something that would take?
That
numerous
looks like it would probably
trips?
two sessions unless he was a trooper and
Yeah.
was able to sit through it. But that's probably like a 2-session job there. Probably like 2 4-hour sessions or somewhere around there. That's a lot of black work.
Yeah, that's great.
Whew.
Like you said, it's something. If I could be like, if we're sitting at a party and I was staring at it, it might take a second. Even as a diehard Cure fan, I think I'd recognize the little froggy dude right away. But the robot guy
Yeah.
looking at him like, wait, is that fucking Carnage visors all over your arm? So,
Yeah,
very
because you'd have to
cool.
change positions so many times during that because it's
Yeah.
like the whole. It's like from the top. I would say from the top of his like clavicle all the way down to his elbow, and then
Yeah.
from like the shoulder blade all the way to the front of like right where the chest begins. So it's a pretty massive tattoo. So it's very well done. I like it a lot.
Yeah, good choice.
So.
And extra points for deep cuts and reference there.
Yeah,
so-
absolutely.
So very cool.
This is from Mark Mendoza. So when I decided I wanted a Cure tattoo, I really wanted to get something cool and a good play on words. Everyone always gets the Boys Don't Cry Robert Smith silhouette, which is awesome, but I didn't want that. So in the song Disintegration, Robert sings the line, "Crying for sympathy, crocodiles cry." And I always thought that was one of the best lines that I've ever heard. You always hear the term crocodile tears, and they are known as fake tears. But how Robert uses them, the crocodile tears, are being used to comfort yourself. I always thought that was amazing. Anyway, here's the tattoo. Thanks. And we have a picture of it. Looks like a flower that has a crocodile head
lotus
coming. Yeah, crocodile head coming out of it with tears, and then the flower underneath it is collecting the tears.
Yeah,
So,
very cool.
Very cool.
Great
I
colors.
love that.
Yeah, I dig that
it
tattoo a lot.
looks really cool. And yeah, I love that it's super subtle. This could just be cool shit and you wouldn't even catch that it's a Cure reference or anything,
Yeah.
So what is tattoo etiquette from you guys? Is it cool to ask or is it not cool to ask what your
It's always cool to touch the person and
Yeah,
like
grab
grab
Yeah,
their
without
arm.
talking. Yeah. Oh my god, the amount of.
and
Oh.
yeah, do all that shit. That's always nice.
Yeah.
I almost freaked out. I almost freaked out on an old lady.
Yeah.
In Trader Joe's that just grabbed my
Yeah.
arm, turned it, and goes, "Why the hell did you do this?" And she's moving my arm around.
Yep.
and I pulled away from him, like, "Why the fuck did you do that?"
Yeah,
Like,
people
he was like,
think they have
"Excuse me?"
permission.
I was like, "Don't
Yeah,
touch me!"
I think
Like,
grabbing
okay.
goes without saying. That's off limits.
Yeah.
But is
it's
it-
always cool to ask.
yeah.
Like I think, unless like don't. Well, no, it's not. All right, don't be a dude and do it like creepily.
yeah.
Like don't be a creep. Like if you see a tattoo on someone that you like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
uh,
totally fine with people saying like, "Oh my god, I love that blah 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 on your blah blah blah."
Yeah.
You know?
But don't
I'm
but
like,
don't
"Oh,
then go into the. You should see my tattoos, or
Yeah.
tell me
Start
all about
dropping.
yours.
Well, you know what it
this
is?
wasn't a conversation.
Yeah, I'll be
yeah.
cordial about it. And if I want the conversation to go like longer, like if you're cool and I see, oh, you've got a bunch of traditional tattoos also, like, and then it goes into like, oh, where'd you get it done? And like,
Yeah.
because I've had some cool conversations like that where then it turns out that we'd both been tattooed by the same guy. And it was like, oh shit, you know this guy,
Yeah.
and it's like, it's cool. But when I can tell it's like a rando, like with no tattoos, and then I know the next fucking question is gonna be, did it hurt?
Yeah.
Oh,
If you
yeah.
come up to me and ask me if it hurts, like I'm gonna give you something that hurts, and it's called a knuckle sandwich. Okay?
I also like, where did you get yours done at? And I'm like, I'm gonna tell you, and you're never gonna go there. So I don't know why we're having this conversation.
Looking for an artist.
Yeah,
When
but
someone's like a dick like that, I usually give them other responses like prison,
Yeah.
and then I just walk away.
So I guess rules of a civilized society still apply as long as they're just
Yeah.
having
Yeah, like,
You have
it's
to be
on
like,
the
"Dude, what is
delivery, the
this?"
timing.
What's-
Like,
yeah.
don't ask me if I'm like with my like 2-year-old and
Yeah.
and I'm like holding them and I'm like if I'm just like hanging out at a show or at a bar and I'm drinking like I totally fine. But if like I'm at work or like
Right.
like it's just
Yeah.
there's a time and a place for everything. Like,
Yeah.
you use your brain a little bit,
Makes
like,
sense. Makes
yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
Hey, you want to read the next one, Antonio? We got
Sure.
Chelsea's here.
All right. So from Chelsea, here's my tattoo of Fascination Street, the first song I heard by The Cure. I knew as soon as I heard it, I was obsessed with them. I tattooed the first half of it, but had a friend finish it since I couldn't reach.
Okay.
Oh, wait. They tattooed. Wow.
Yeah.
Chelsea
Yeah.
tattooed the first part of it. Oh, kudos to you, Chelsea, because I tattooed myself also, and it's not easy. Okay. I just had to double check that I wasn't reading that wrong. But since I couldn't reach it, LOL. The one on the bottom right is another one I saw the design online, and I got my friend to tattoo it. Another huge 80s new wave fan. Her name is Liz Gruesome, a huge pioneer in Fayetteville, North Carolina tattoo community. Because of her, we started our own Fayetteville Goth Nights, and they have been an amazing turnout for the past few months. Always thankful for the new wave community, and thank you guys for asking about our lifelong commitments, Chelsea. So Chelsea has a very rad, like a street sign that says like, Fascination Street, which is super cool. And, Fascination Street, as we've talked about is, definitely one of my favorite Cure songs, and I covered it. And it's, to me, it's one of those, if you had to name 5 songs that really define the Cure to somebody, Fascination Street always makes that list for me. So that is very cool.
Yeah, and like we're saying, so much cooler when it's a specific song with a specific meaning for you. If you can land that, that's awesome, So very cool.
Yeah. Definitely. I love that tattoo. I wish I could get more little filler ones like that.
Yeah, lots of cool little
That,
stuff
like,
going on
yeah,
here.
I
Just
like
looking
that
at the
one.
picture, there's like a heart with like almost looks like the Joy Division Unknown Pleasures
Yeah, with
cover with
cats on
little
it.
cats
Yeah.
popping up out of the
Yeah.
waves there, which is awesome.
Yeah, it's very cool.
And I
Yeah,
guess like
she's
down
got
near the ankle is the Cure Wish font there. And yeah, like got some bats and safety pins. So that's cool.
Yeah, a lot of cool little bangers. I dig
Yeah.
it.
Very cool. All right, this is a good one coming up next here. We got short and sweet here. Scott wrote in, not Scott Kurger. This is Scott Nicholson here. He says, I gave myself this tattoo. Going back to another self-done tattoo here. I gave myself this tattoo. It looks like a DIY, and I love it. Which I guess it is if he did it himself. So what we got here on the wrist is like a time stamp, I guess, of 00 hours, 00 minutes, and of course 17 seconds. So again, very cool. If you saw somebody
Love
that
it.
had that, I would be like,
Yeah.
17.
Yeah.
Oh fuck, 17 seconds.
Yeah, exactly. It's one of those things where you're like, I don't get it. Yes, I do get it. That's awesome.
Very cool. All right. Up next, we have Suzanne, and this one we have an audio clip for. So
Yeah.
we are going to let, in her own words, Suzanne tell us about her Cure tattoo.
Hi, my name is Suzanne, and this is my Cure tattoo story. So I've been a fan of The Cure since I first heard them in 1991. I was a freshman in high school, and I remember it clear as day. I was at my friend's house. She was playing the cassette of Mixed Up, and the song Close to Me came on. And I remember just thinking, what is this? And how can I have this in my life every day for the rest of time? I have a few other tattoos, and I got the idea for a Cure tattoo a few years ago. I actually came across I think it was a tweet, and it was something to the effect of somebody asking the question, who would I be if I never discovered the Cure as a teenager? And that really resonated with me and really just solidified my decision to have them on my skin forever. So I've been trying to find an image or a concept for a while. I never really, I mean, no offense, but I never really loved any of their like album logos. Maybe like Carnage Visors, but it's pretty abstract. I love all of the photos by Andy Vella. I love the photos that are in the Obscure collection. And I thought about maybe getting like the dried roses, the silhouettes of the dried roses that were part of kind of like the In Between Days-ish photo shoot. I did also a few years ago have a consultation with somebody. I was thinking of getting the silhouette of Robert from The Boys Don't Cry, you know, the very famous back silhouette on my ankle, but then I got a little paranoid because I thought, well, from far away, is the guitar neck going to look like a penis? So I don't know. I tend to obsess a little too much. So about a year ago, I was thinking about getting just a black heart tattoo. So I was doing some like research on that. But at the same time, I still wanted to get a Cure tattoo. So just maybe a few months ago, I was looking through some different Cure images, like literally just put the Cure and did an image search. And I came across the single cover for Let's Go to Bed. And that is the image of Robert where he's like in a dark room and you just see these like really cool shadows from blinds across his face. And I think actually I was looking even at the back of the single. It's the same photo, but with Lol. Just a really, really cool image. So then it kind of came to me. I was like, okay, well maybe what if I get this image and I just put it in a heart shape? So I did like a very quick, crappy markup on my iPhone. I sent it to an artist who a friend recommended, and I got it done at the beginning of July. The artist's name is Lexi Neary, and she works at a shop in Medford, New Jersey, which is called Order of the Sacred Crow, which, like, I mean, how cool is that name? I love the way she executed it, because I told her, like, I wanted it to just be, like, a really cool image, a really cool tattoo on its own. And, like, if people recognize the image, great. Like, if you know, you know. But not necessarily a Robert Smith tattoo. I'm also really happy that I settled on this image because this era of The Cure, this, like, early 80s Japanese Whispers compilation, like, those are truly some of my favorite songs by them, and it just really is a cool like turning point. I love all their stuff, but it just seemed like a really cool like turning point in the band's career. I just love that era. So far, again, I've only had it for a few weeks. No one in real life has like recognized that it's Robert Smith or a Cure tattoo. I did have a server recently who asked me if it was David Bowie. And I was like, well, okay, I'll allow it because, you know, that's one of their inspirations. I will be so excited when, like, the first person is like, is that Robert Smith or is that The Cure? I'm just going to, I don't know, maybe I should give them a prize or something. But anyway, I'm so happy with it. I love that it is the first thing I see when I wake up in the morning. And now I will always have The Cure close to me.
So yeah, there's a really cool one. I really dig this one because it's not only looks rad, has good meaning behind it, but it's subtle in a sense too. I would see that immediately as a Cure fan and know the single cover and just be like, fuck yeah, let's go to bed.
Absolutely,
but it doesn't say The Cure on it too, which would still be cool, you know. But I like that it's like real good black dark lines for the people out there. Yeah, the Let's Go to Bed single cover and. In a heart.
It's in a heart shape, yeah.
I think
the heart is really nice.
Yeah.
I think it's very cool to drop it in a different shape. I think that really adds a whole nother like element to it, which is cool because like if it's the, if it's from the single, whether it was vinyl or whatever it may be, it'll be awkwardly shaped. Like, why do you have, what's that square thing? You know?
if you had a
So I
big
think it's really
square in your
cool.
arm.
Like, yeah, jamming it into a heart, or maybe even like, it'd be rad, like on one like this, doing it, but make it look like it's a Polaroid, so you
Yeah,
could do,
that'd be cool.
like something cool to frame around it, because that's always the issue is like, will this look like it's just floating in the,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But very cool. Very cool.
Yeah, I don't know if it's just the picture, but the heart is so like crisp in the outline of it and stuff. It almost looks like a hole, like an optical illusion.
Yeah.
Like you're looking at it
For sure.
in the window on her arms. It's really
Yeah,
cool.
and hearts are not easy. It's done really well, beautiful, like very like good fine line around it. Which is not easy to do by all means. So, very cool.
Cool deal. All right, let's move on to Sheila. We had the pleasure of meeting Sheila at the line outside of Merriweather, remember?
Oh, yeah. That's right.
This is Sheila, and she's loaded
Hi,
up
Sheila.
with cure tattoos. She's got a whole bunch that she wants to share
Yeah,
with
that's
us
right.
here. I have a lot of cure-related tattoos now, but it all started years ago before I got my first cure tattoo. The band has been a mainstay since I was 9 years old. The Cure tattoos started in June of 2014 when my mother-in-law gave me a birthday money for a black and white Robert tattoo on my right calf. The lips are red. It's a photo from the 80s era. So that's the first image we got here. Big ol' Robert portrait. Very cool red lipstick. Like we said, very brave. Get the Robert portrait on you there. And looks very cool. He's got his suit jacket on. And I'd say
I like the dots going around the bottom of it.
Yeah.
I like when tattoo artists put those little things on it.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, it's a way to like artistically cut it
Yeah.
off so that you
Yeah.
just don't like fade it out and it drops away.
Right. Yeah, that'd be tough call.
Well, again, you got to go with the contours of the body. So it's like our bodies aren't squared off. So anything
Yeah.
squared off looks very weird. You usually want to
Yeah.
save that stuff for like very flat surface, like the back or something,
Totally. But it doesn't stop there. She writes, many of us have the Wish Cure logo and the Cure bird/lobster thing, myself included. But I also have the Curiosa logo because I convinced my BF to go and he knew almost all the songs by then. I got those in 2014 on my left forearm. So that when we got a picture of that, or it's real
Yep.
cool with the full coloring there. The Cure Wish logo is in blue, and little slug letters there, and then the bird lobster. I hadn't heard lobster before, but I guess that fits
Yeah.
too. So I love through this
Bird
whole
lobster.
Yeah, we
Bird
get all kinds of- so that looks cool. Very crisp red on it, and that cool
Yeah.
little. That was like a Curiosa logo there with like a kind of starfish thing, but that was a cool one that didn't get used very much. So I always like that
Yeah,
logo.
that's
I have
cool.
a T-shirt with that one, but very cool. The following summer, I got "Letter to Elise" lyrics on the inside of my right forearm, and a few months later, I got several drawings from the self-titled album on the same arm. On the left forearm, I got 4 of the Wish eyes, I guess on the little tentacle kind of things, and also got the South Park Robert on my right bicep. So we don't have pictures of the Robert from South Park or the
I do remember.
Wish eyes, but
Yeah, I do remember seeing it though when we met.
Yeah. and
very
I think
cool.
she's posted them on her Instagram before too. These are all
Yeah.
on there. So, but yeah, the full letters there, or the lyrics for "Letter to Elise" is pretty brave and cool to have the full. I like that when people just do the fuck it. I'm putting the full lyrics. That's what I should do. I should just get like pictures of you down my whole back or something.
Yeah,
It's
the
just-
whole thing. Yeah. Like looking like you're the TV at karaoke.
Yeah. Well, I love it. Yeah.
Nice.
So, and very cool.
Now does BF stand for boyfriend or best friend?
That's what I was wondering. So I just
I
said
think it was
BF.
If I remember right, it's a
Something like that.
boyfriend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So very cool. Maybe the same.
Yeah.
BF. All right. Now we got Deanne, who's contributed to the show before many times.
yeah.
And again, a numerous Cure tattoos on Deanne. So you want to read that one for us, Chaz?
Sure. We got number one, we got Bobby Boop. Bobby Boop is my character design that I created. However, my husband is responsible for the actual artwork in the tattoo about 5 years ago. He, as a character, only really saw the light of day during the 2022 Euro Tour when I used the image along with the flag of each city they played. However, I had a tattoo done in 2020 and I would send my Cure fan friends a greeting card using his image. It's very cute. I love that. I've seen that on her Instagram before.
Yeah.
So very cool.
Little Betty Boop turned Robert.
yeah,
So Bobby
yeah.
Boop with a guitar there and looking
Yeah, very
awesome.
cool. I think that's a very cool mashup. It's like multiple artistic and multiple meanings. Very cool.
Yeah, very cool. Awesome.
And number two is the caterpillar and girl. I've always loved the artwork for the caterpillar, and I've wanted it tattooed for a very long time. But I wanted to add more to it. One day I saw I'm sorry if I pronounce this wrong, Miro,
Miro, I believe.
painting, and I thought it went well with it. So I took elements from both and combined to create the caterpillar and the girl.
Yeah, so that's
cool.
cool
On the left-hand side there.
mashup there, the little caterpillar, and they look in the same style. I never made that connection before.
Yeah.
That is a Spanish artist. It's very Salvador Dali-esque kind of artist, Miro. So yeah, it's on like two little figures that work great together.
Yeah, I like that. And then tattoo number 3 is Babel. Another one I've wanted done for a long time. Lyrics from Babel, shut up and let me breathe. Sometimes I suffer from anxiety and what I call mental claustrophobia. Sometimes the noise around me is too much. Sometimes I just need silence. Silence from people and the environment around me. Silence from my own thoughts. Strangely, this song is sometimes the only thing that helps me get out of my own head. Man, with the babies on it, I don't know. My wonderfully beautiful friend Alexander did me the absolute pleasure of designing this tattoo for me. I gave him a concept, and he made it come to life. Yes, Alexander is an amazing person, and that is a beautiful, beautiful picture. I absolutely love that.
Very cool. Yeah, I was all like, wait, same Alexander. It's got to be, right?
Yeah, yep,
She
it has to be, yeah.
it, and,
He did artwork for my wife's birthday one time for something that he drew for us. So,
very cool.
Very awesome guy.
And the lettering on a Kiss Me shirt you did, right?
Yep. And then we have tattoo number 4 is the ring, which is on her finger. This is just a why the hell not tattoo. I was in getting another non-cure related tattoo, and I just said to my tattooist, "Hey, let's do this while I'm here." So I feel that. Been there.
Yeah. And that one's super cool. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
It's just the straight up Wish logo just on the ring finger there. So it looks like a little ring there. And like we're talking about, that would be cool to do the full thing across, but this works great too. So good idea. Any Cure logo would work just right across the one finger like that.
I like that.
What's something like that cost? That seems about more my budget, right? I can time and budget.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, if you're getting something else done, usually not a whole lot.
yeah.
But if you go in and just say, "Can I
Just
get this
that.
done?" Yeah, I don't think you're gonna be too happy.
They're just like, it's not worth getting all the gear out for.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. All right. And then we got Dennis up next. Antonio, you want to cover Dennis's?
I always wanted to have a tattoo that would symbolize my love for the music and my favorite artists. I briefly thought about Cocteau Twins, Morrissey, bleh, or Depeche Mode, but it is always meant to be The Cure as my all-time favorite band and just a huge part of my life for 30 years or so. For
Oh, yeah.
years, I could not decide on what I wanted, the spinning top from the top, or the U script from Wish, or the flower from Disintegration, but finally I decided to have a Wish high bird on my left arm. Yeah, quite common, but I like it, and it's unassuming. I did not want to paint it red as the cover of the high single, but just black and white as it is in the corner of the album. The girl who did the tattoo obviously had no idea. She had never heard of The Cure either. I've had this tattoo for over 3 years. Sometimes I think I should have gotten something else Cure related, but overall, I'm satisfied. Well, looks like you've got more room and you've got more time. So
I was gonna say you can
absolutely
get more
more-
stuff Cure related.
yeah, I want to
You
know
don't-
where this person is that's never heard of The Cure.
Yeah.
I hope
tattoo
I
artists?
hope I hope you
Yeah.
played The Cure for them. And
I was gonna say tattoo artists do nothing but listen to music. Like that's
exactly. Yeah.
Like that's all pretty much they can do. So
Well, they nailed
yeah,
it
you
at
have
least.
plenty of
That's good.
time. You have plenty of time. It looks like you got plenty of body space to get more Cure stuff done. So yeah.
Yeah, it looks
yeah,
great.
very
I
cool.
love the variations on it too, of like how we had the full color high
Yeah.
bird earlier,
Yeah.
and then this one looks great just with the black and white. That reminds me more of the little necklace that was around the time, that little silver necklace
Yeah.
I had for about a
Oh,
week
yeah,
before
yeah.
mine broke. but so it's very cool. dig
I
it.
wouldn't get it because I don't like the album, but the spinning top is a great idea. I like that idea.
I was thinking that too. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
great idea, but no,
And-
but
Yeah.
definitely
Like,
not.
clearly your favorite album if you got it tattooed on you,
Yeah.
right?
Well, I mean, that's kind of one of the reasons I didn't get the like Caterpillar stuff is
Yeah.
like I like the artwork, but like the album as a whole, like I can't like stand by it, so I feel kind of dishonest getting that tattoo, even though I love
Right.
the song. But like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah, it's cool. But I like the high bird here is kind of
Yeah.
become like a universal Cure symbol too, where it is just kind of one of those things where you see it, So very cool.
Yeah, because it definitely doesn't look like anything else, so it definitely stands alone. You know what I mean? For
Yeah.
sure.
Very cool. All right, up next we have my tattoo. Who's it we got here? Oh, Alex. My tattoo is a tribute to my amazing wife, inspired by The Cure's The Perfect Girl. The lyrics capture her complex, unique, and lovable nature perfectly. You're such a strange girl. I want to be with you. I think I'm falling in love. Sorry, it's hard not to sing it. The creative journey was amazing. Originally, I wanted something warm and emotional with falling imagery. But Jimmy, the artist, came up with an idea to start with a simple female icon like you would see on a bathroom door, then glitch it through an old copy machine for that perfectly imperfect look. It filled the outline with a starlight vibe that brings the whole piece to life. To top it off, we added the phrase, I think I'm falling, around the upper part of the arm, using the Kiss Me album font. I'm really happy with how it turned out. So very cool. And if you see how it is, the image of the girl's more on the forearm there, and it goes around the top. So very cool. Yeah, if you're looking at it, it's a little hard to catch at first from the photo, but it's like, oh yeah, that looks great. Or it's the outline, and it looks like within the outline of the glitched girl, you've got like some planets and
Oh yeah, I see Saturn. Or,
so
Yeah,
that's very
I think
cool.
it's
Yeah.
what a beautiful interpretation from lyrics. Like I gotta say, like definitely, probably one of the most creative ones. I think I've seen like of people turning any lyric into a tattoo, because it's definitely not always easy. But he had not only the lyrics, but he had the why and the who it was for. So very cool.
Yeah.
Kudos to his artist and
even
Jimmy and Alex. Very rad.
great job. Yeah, and I love the idea. It even makes me like have a different perspective on that song, where it's all like, oh, maybe she is from like literally out of this world. That's why she's like this perfect weird girl. Make it some kind of like crazy sci-fi version. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. And let's see. Up next, we got our old friend Andy, the Cure fan.
Andy,
What up, buddy?
what's up? So this is our buddy Andy. I started with a letter to Elise Faces. Then I got the stars from the 1208 Dream shirt from the 2008 Los Angeles mini tour / TB appearance. He included a Walmart.com link, which I am not going to click. Then I got the Cure old school logo. Then after anniversary show, I added the years, but too small and now blown out. I then added Simon's tattoo and added the latest logo, all in the span of about 15 years. And then he included a picture that, if you know Andy, you've seen of him with the same tattoo as Simon on his arm with the red lightning bolt and the stars above it. And Simon's got some fucking gnarly eyebrows going on this one. So.
Right on. But, yep, showing off those tattoos side by
Bad
side.
wolf, bro. Bad
Looking
wolf.
pretty
Yeah.
good. And yeah, good selections all around. That 1208 Dream shirt, I had to click on the link just because I wasn't even sure, but it's a tour
They got
shirt
double virus.
from that era. Yeah. And just cool little stars there.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, yeah. And yeah, all around solid choices for sure. All right, so up next, we got one from Tim, and I guess a bit of a trigger warning for this one because a little bit of Tim never holds back here. He always delivers with some very heartfelt, emotional stories behind his Cure love here, and this one is no exception.
My first Cure tattoo is on the inside elbow crook of my left arm. It's the weird bird bug crab thingy from the Wish album and the high symbol. Probably my favorite explanation of it.
Yeah, I love how all these different things have different like. It's a bird. It's a I don't
It's
know.
a crab thingy.
I do like lobster though.
Yeah, lobster for sure. I'll briefly explain the events leading up to it. It was my 45th birthday, and my soon-to-be wife and I went downtown to in Austin to celebrate. We had way too much to drink, and it ended in a very over-dramatic fight. During this fight, I hung myself in what I can only suppose to be a grand romantic gesture. But it went too far, and I actually lost consciousness and stopped breathing. My girl called 911, and the next thing I remember, I woke up in the hospital with tubes attached to me everywhere, surrounded by my very upset parents and siblings. My sobbing mother asked me what I was thinking about as I kept repeating, "Makes me bite my fingers through." I was quite drugged up and don't recall saying anything back at that moment, but once I was able to communicate again, this all came to light. Once I was released from the hospital, I had to go to a psychiatric facility for another week as they assumed I was suicidal. Even though I know I never really wanted to kill myself, I just have a penchant for the dramatics. The day after I was released from the psych ward, I went and got the weird crab bird bug and Cure written as the slug tattooed, where I would always see it and be constantly reminded of this boneheaded moment. My second Cure tattoo is a far less of a story, but it's my absolute favorite piece. It's the Friday I'm in Love graphic, flanked by the A letter to release circle/faces in the center of my chest. I got these a few days after we scored tickets for this last tour to commemorate the first time I was getting to see my favorite band. Thanks for letting me share. Talk hard. Tim.
Yeah.
I was like, he used talk hard.
Yeah, so wow, that was so glad that you're still with us here, Tim. So right off
Let's
the bat.
not do that again.
Yeah. So every time.
That's
Save drama for the actors.
Yes.
You know what, the Friday I'm in Love thing in the center of the chest looks very cool. I was like, actually,
Yeah.
I'm like,
Oh, that's fucking bad. Like I love the idea of the faces going opposite ways.
Yeah.
On the chest is I love it. So
Yeah, very cool
Very-
that it's all Wish themed. You know, it's like you got all the
Yeah.
Wish singles covered.
I'm
Very
hoping
cool.
that the tattoo next to it says "so long" and "thanks for all the fish," but
So long.
I
Looks like an umbrella with an eye with some
Yeah.
lightning bolts. Not sure.
I don't know how many
It might say so long and
Hitchhiker's Guide to
goodbye.
the Galaxy
Okay.
fans we have, but
Nice.
yeah,
Yeah.
but
I love
Or
the.
yeah, I
maybe
did.
My Chemical Romance. It could be so long and goodbye.
Oh yeah, that is too. Yeah,
Because I've seen those.
Yeah.
before.
Yeah, I love
but
the
yeah,
leather
and then you
Elise
have-
faces. Are great. That'd probably be the one I was always closest to getting something like that. You know, that'd be what I would go for, I think. But
yeah. I definitely like the bird. This one is colored in, unlike the other one. But I like each of the different variations that we've seen of them.
yeah,
They're all a little bit different. Like the first one, the lines are very thin on it, but there's also like a lot of yellow in the two tips that are up there that I really really like. And then of course just the regular black and white one is really cool. And then this one is just I don't know, that the lines are thicker. It looks a little bit more cartoonish, but I dig this one too. It's all of them are very cool.
Awesome. All right. And coming up, we got a few audio clips here now for you guys in their own words. We have Tanya, friend of the show here too. And she's got kind of a cool mashup going here for her tattoo selections. I'll let her tell you about it.
Hello, Holy Hour Podcast. It is Tanya. I wanted to tell y'all about my Cure tattoo. I actually just got it last year, even though I've been a fan since the early 80s and then kind of took a break between like during the 90s and into the 2000s and then came back around when all the anniversary stuff started happening. But so last year, before we went to go see him in Atlanta, about a month before, I decided I wanted to get a Cure tattoo. So the way I work with my artist, who is Stan Fincham in Virginia Beach, he's done most of my tattoos. And the way I work with him is that I give him the basic idea and then I let him do whatever style he wants, whatever colors he wants, whatever he wants to add to it, as long as my basic want is legible in the tattoo. So for this, basic Cure tattoo idea, I said I wanted the Boys Don't Cry silhouette, which we all know what that is, right? So I said, as long as the Boys Don't Cry silhouette is legible, you can do whatever else you want to do. So he gave me a trash polka style Boys Don't Cry, the iconic silhouette, clearly legible, but the hair morphs into the hair of a bigger portrait of Robert that kind of overlooks the tattoo. And it has all of these trash polka-esque effects. It's black and red. It's got a lot of dots. It's got a sort of a messy punk look to it. And he also managed to put in red the Cure Wish logo. It's four curved things that all look the same, but they spell it C-U-R-E. So I asked for a Boys Don't Cry silhouette, but I got a full-on trash polka Boys Don't Cry silhouette plus a portrait plus the logo, and it's I'm looking at it right now. I absolutely love it. It's on the inside of my right leg all the way from the knee to pretty much the ankle. So it's gorge, and yeah, that's my tattoo story. You can see it on my Instagram and on the subreddit for the Cure. I don't post a hell of a lot, so if you find me on Instagram or in the Reddit sub, I think I'm Tanya Dawn 1313 on both of them, or it could just be Tanya Dawn 13, TANIADAWN 13 or 1313. So that's my Cure tattoo story. I kind of want to get another one. I kind of want to get a portrait of Robert on like my left arm and a portrait of Susie on my right arm. Something like that. But anyway, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Very cool. This is a great example of making a portrait work and getting the silhouette in there, because we all love that damn silhouette, you know, but a lot of us were hesitant to get that one on there. But I think this works great because you got Cure written next to it too anyway, so it's not like you're going for the secret handshake kind of code thing. This is just straight up Cure love, and the cool red dots all through it really make it pop out nice too. So very cool.
Company with the black dots on the top.
Yeah,
And going out of the hair.
Beautiful, like montage-y kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think my favorite part is the way that the Cure logo isn't filled in all the way. That there's space between
that
the
little
line,
bit of
between the line
100%.
and the lettering.
Yeah.
It makes that pop so much more.
Yeah, it's very cool. It's got like a little bit of a pop art feel to it, but it also has some realism to it. You know, it's only black and red. Very cool. You know, I could dig it.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
Very cool. All right, next one we got from Chris here, and another audio clip. So let's see how Chris came up with his decision.
It's me, Chris, this Twilight Garden. So for the tattoo I got, it's from the Lost Wishes cassette tape. It's of the eyes and Wishbird. As far as how I went or how I settled on that image, it was a lot of back and forth over the years. I had contemplated a lot of various images of the Cure's album artwork. I felt like I had settled on this image because it's definitely Wish was one of the first Cure albums I had listened through in its entirety, and Trust was one of the first songs I ever heard by The Cure, and I felt it made sense to kind of go back to that, like, to have that representation on me as not only as my first tattoo, but as my first Cure tattoo. As far as like this experience of getting it, for me it was like definitely bittersweet, and I have regrets on how I kind of went about it. So I had got the tattoo on May 31st of this year, and 2 weeks prior, one of my family members had passed away. So I was kind of like navigating like that loss, and I had already booked this tattoo, I don't know, like a month and a half before, and I was like definitely on the fence about getting it. Like I felt like maybe I should cancel or postpone, but it was something I had really wanted. And, you know, one of my family members was, I guess, kind of convinced me like I should still go through with it. And, you know, I went, and the experience was definitely weird. You know, like it was, I mean, it was definitely a good distraction, but I don't know if I would have done it that way. Like looking back at it now, I felt like very, I guess, desensitized to kind of everything around me. But overall, I mean, I guess I'm glad I got it in the end, because I felt like it was something I really desired for a long time. As far as like the responses I've received, so the responses I've gotten have been like generally mixed. It's been like some of my friends have been like, oh, you know, like the tattoo's okay, and like in one instance I didn't get any response. So I kind of like, for me, I take it with a grain of salt. I definitely try not to personalize it, because I feel like at the end of the day I'm the only one that has to live with it, right? It's something that I got for me. I didn't get this tattoo for anyone else but myself. But that kind of leads into the next question of, will I get another? And I feel like the regret I have is definitely like with the placement and not going bigger. I feel like the image, it's not quite how I wanted it to be, and I think I should have waited. I think I should have definitely postponed like that tattoo section, and then like, okay, like I need to like do it when I have more of a clearer thought as far as what I'm doing. I can definitely see it's not the mistakes of the image, but it's the mistakes of how it was put on me, the placement of it and the size of it. For me, I feel like I want to add more to it. But if I add more Cure album artwork, I definitely want to see how it flows. And if it doesn't flow, then I'm gonna like block it out or whatever. I'm gonna find a solution to it. I don't feel 100% set on it, but again, that was probably like a definitely an error on my part. But I mean, I don't know. It's something that was definitely a learning experience. But yeah, thank you again.
Nah, man, for what it's worth, I think this looks great and really get the whole package together with the Lost Wishes art and the High Bird.
Yeah.
And just the Lost Wishes portion alone, I don't feel like we see that a lot or enough.
Not done enough. I did see a couple of them on tour. The on tour, like we were on tour.
Yeah.
The 5 shows that we went to. I
Yeah.
saw Lost Wishes tattoos a couple times.
Okay.
Yeah,
So,
but I think they should be done more often.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Cool. Cheers. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Chris. And as we move into our final audio segment here, we have good friend of the show, good old Bella. And well, if you listen way back, she told us her origin story and how this tattoo matches perfectly with that. So I'll let her take it away from here.
Hello, Holy Hour podcast. This is Bella. I'm going to give you the rundown of my right forearm tattoo. So, if I could take a 3D rendering of Robert Smith's voice and the arrangement of the song Burn and somehow shove it into my arm so that anytime I wanted, I could pop up a screen or some visual representation of the song, that's what I would have done. But since we live in this flat 3D or whatever land that we live in, I have Brandon Lee's face pretty nicely done. It's a portrait and a bit of a crow collage behind him with the word burn written across the top. So that is my Cure tattoo. It's a little bit tangential, but burn was the origin of how I got into the band, and so it seemed the most appropriate. I'm going to attach some pictures, but because my arm is round, it may not translate very well, so I might give you a couple of different shots just so you can kind of see. The tattoo was done in Chattanooga by Tim Rogers, so if you want to look up his work, go right ahead. Thanks, friends.
All right, so this one's burn heavy. We got really good detail, full forearms, underside of Brandon Lee as the crow.
The only crow.
The one and only crow. Yes.
Yeah, not this fucking bullshit they just did.
Have you seen it yet?
No.
I refuse. I won't.
Yeah, it's not really
will not.
getting... I mean, nothing gets good reviews anymore, it seems, but at the same time, yeah, I don't know. It looks a little...
For a non-religious person, it's sacrilegious.
Okay. Yeah, it's hard one.
Yeah. Bella's putting everybody to shame with...
Yeah, this
with
is an epic finale one for sure. You guys gotta go.
And then you have the burn lettering on top of everything.
Yeah.
Just adds to it, along with the statue on the other arm. Very, very well done.
Yeah,
There's never been a more perfect pairing between a song written for a movie and a movie than Burn and The Crow.
yeah.
It's like one is not the same without the other. It's pretty fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. The portrait work is phenomenal on this though.
That's
The shadowing is
definitely like next level there.
Yeah.
Looks amazing. And yeah, like you're saying, it's like, a crow tattoo, but a Cure tattoo, it's just as much, like, and the fact that even if it didn't say burn on there, you just totally automatically think of Cure with that and burn, and all three of them come together in one, and this does a wonderful job of representing all that. So very cool. And yeah, so for all these, definitely go to our Facebook page and Instagram. We'll be posting these pictures. And you can match them up. If you've listened this far, then you'll know who's or what and all that. So very cool. And thanks to all the listeners out there that sent us in a write-up, a picture, and shared with us and shared with you good people out there. There's definitely tons more out there. If you missed the boat on this episode, feel free to just post it in the comments or just send it this way in a write-up, and we'll start a whole new batch. That would be fun. So yeah, definitely gradually collect them as we go. But I thought a cool way to wind down this episode was to look at the fucking band themselves and see what they got going on as far as tattoos on the Cure member bodies over here. And I guess as we look at the man himself, Robert Smith, I've never really heard of any tattoos on him. I don't think he has any. I mean, he wears long sleeves quite a bit, and the best you get are those pictures of him walking in the airport with his shorts and some kind of short sleeve shirt occasionally, but really it's hard to tell. If he does seem like the kind of guy that would have a sneaky Betty Boop on his behind or something like that. If he does have one, we're not seeing it.
I think he has it on the opposite end of the behind, if you know what I mean.
He gets like Xavier Roberts on his ass or something.
Yeah.
Like that,
but, oh man, I almost lost a bet where I would have had to get that tattooed on my ass.
Yeah, me too. Actually, it
really?
was definitely in discussions that. Luckily, there wasn't a tattoo parlor anywhere around for our drunken selves to stumble into, so luckily it didn't happen. But he could have anything really, but I haven't heard any stories of any. Nobody's claimed to have seen them.
I did a Lord of the Rings map just on his whole back.
You never know.
And then he has like all the dragons from Game of Thrones on his back.
As you're specifically Googling Robert Smith tattoo, and then you weed out all the ones of just people getting his face on their tattoo, this one image did pop up where he's at like a press conference and he's holding his arm out, and it's on his left forearm, which is 99.9% a fake tattoo or temporary, because when he's playing guitar, that is one spot we would see very clearly. And there's a picture I posted right under it from the current tour where you could see his arm and it is not there. So this it looks like a heart or something that you'd get out of a tattoo pack when you know, like the little kids get, where you put the little sticky thing on there. So it's probably something like that.
Yeah.
But
well, you did send me like about 752 pictures of his arm at different angles.
I did,
just to debunk this. I thought it was a little much, but
I was like, just really like to be thorough, you know. So.
I was like, you really have a lot of pictures of Robert, and you said it was just for research, research! Exclamation point! Exclamation point! Don't tell my wife. Just for research.
Just for research. All the bare spots of Robert that I could gather together. So I don't think he's got any visible ones anyway. So. Simon's a whole nother story as we get a look at some of his. He's got, from what I gather, he's got a Target thing. It could be like the Who logo, right?
Yeah, the Who. That's what I thought it was. Yeah.
So it's the blue circle.
I just want to go up to him and go, boop.
Yeah. Like,
so it's a good thing it's not a red Target, because then that would be the store Target, and I don't know if that would be very cool to get.
No.
But the Who.
He'd be so mad at me.
Pretty awesome. Yeah, you don't want to touch his tattoo. It goes against your own rules, right? For etiquette, you can't just don't grab him. Under it, I don't know if you guys catch the reference to this, or somebody out there probably does, but it's two people like profiles drinking tea or something. It looks like they're kind of cheersing each other or drinking some hot cups. So I'm not really sure what's up with that one. And then it looks like he does have some kind of band that goes around his arms there, and I don't know if it's a tribal band or
it's Celtic.
Yeah, so
it's Celtic work. I've seen closer pictures of it. Yeah, it's like a Celtic armband.
Okay, so very cool.
Which way more
Tom
credible.
DeLonge tattoo?
No, it's not a Tom DeLonge.
And also a skull and a tiny star on the forearm. That were in a different picture. I don't think you could see it on that one, but or you hadn't got it yet, but it was on the other picture. And then on his left arm, it looks like some kind of flowery design that's quite big, like an explosion of some kind of.
There's like an elk or something.
Yeah,
like in there.
like
I don't
zoom
really.
in,
We're
some-
terrible at this.
Some birds.
He's
and
got
shit.
he's got the heart with the dagger through it.
Yeah, up at the top.
I contemplated getting that,
Yeah.
but did not. So
Very cool. As we move on from him, Reeves had one obvious on his right strumming arm there. It's just a design. I'm sure it's got some meaning there, but just a pretty big, covers the whole forearm there, and looks cool. But yeah, it's just a design of some sort. So enlighten us if he's told any of you guys out there while hanging out. Roger doesn't seem to show too much skin, so hard to say what he's got. Haven't seen any obvious ones on him. And Jason, I've seen a few like sleeveless Drummond pictures. Doesn't have any on his arms.
there's no way Jason has a tattoo.
No,
I'm feeling that there's no way that he has a tattoo.
he just
I
doesn't
have a
seem
feeling
like
that his whole house is like perfectly clean. I feel like.
I mean, the
And
last time I saw him
like
naked,
OCD.
I didn't see any, but
And
I was busy.
Perry had a really cool Friday I'm in Love tattoo in the video
Yeah.
for Friday I'm in Love, but I'd be willing to bet that wasn't for real.
Yeah.
So yeah, hard to say. Not too many pictures of him. I guess actually, if I went back to those Wild Mood Swings era, he wore a lot of short sleeve t-shirts and stuff.
He goes Gavin pretending like he doesn't have those pictures, like
so
fucking Wild West
Didn't
gunslinger.
really dig in that hard at this point. This was, yeah, so I bet he's got something somewhere. But and as far as past members, Pearl is definitely a whole other category.
yeah, he probably
too.
wins the tattoo award for most covered Cure member.
So stars, hearts, swirlies, everything that's kind of Pearl style art even. So I bet some of
Lucky
these are
Charms.
self-done even. Cool
They're magically
designs,
delicious.
though. I bet a lot of these aren't permanent though ones because you see other photos from later and they're different and the face and head ones and stuff are
Like on the hand and stuff like that.
Yeah, it has kind of a henna vibe
Yeah.
anyway, a lot of them.
Yeah.
So I could
Eh,
see
whatever.
Yeah,
I've seen the anchor.
yeah.
I've seen his chest tattoo before. I've seen
Yeah, the ones in
and-
this picture look kind of more for real, probably. But
and on his signature guitar too. Some of those I think are actually art that he has tattooed
Yeah.
on him.
yeah, so
Yeah. I dig the anchor.
yeah, yeah. I think that's it there. Anybody else? Lowell have any tattoos? Don't know. I didn't really dig into
I
Matthew
mean,
or.
I think Lowell has been that messed up where he's got to have at least one or two.
Gotta have something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that winds down tattoo time, I think. So you guys, any Cure tattoos? Are you inspired? Are you gonna get any more? I mean, you kind of
Yeah, I'm
mentioned
gonna get something
you'd be
eventually.
curious.
I don't know what, and gotta have money to do it. 'Cause,
You gonna steal any of these ideas?
Well, I'm actually gonna get the new logo with our faces that Scott
Ooh,
did.
Yeah, there we
Tattooed
go.
on my butt cheek.
There we go. Sounds good.
I'm just gonna get Cure tattooed on the inside of my lip.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
it's-
I mean, other than the knuckle tattoos, I'll never get done. I don't know. There's got to be something else that I like. I definitely like the signpost that was done. I kind of want to steal that, and that would be a cool tattoo just to like get like on like the side of my leg, like a little one put somewhere. So, but yeah, there's a couple things like that I'd like to get done, but. As far as big, I don't think so. I don't think I'm gonna get anything big. I'm never gonna get a portrait done. I only have one, and I think that's about it that'll get done. So
I do kind of wish when I was young I would have gotten young Robert's face right on my belly, and as I've
Yeah.
gotten older, he would have
And
gotten
bigger.
older with me as my
Yeah.
my bare belly stretches to see if it
Yep.
actually
That's
still
hot.
looks like modern Robert or anything. We could have grown together, So, but I missed that.
Does
boat.
Robert have white hair? No, that's
my
stretch marks.
chest.
Sorry.
It's my white chest hair and stretch marks. Ugh.
Yeah. What I don't see a lot of is the Three Imaginary Boys artwork.
With
I think I've seen that maybe like once, twice,
Yeah.
maybe.
with
But
the
like there's just a vacuum
lampshade and
cleaner.
the-
Yeah, lampshade,
that
the
would be
vacuum cleaner.
cool.
Yeah.
Or even the Boys Don't Cry with the pyramid and that's kind
Oh
of
yeah,
cool.
yeah,
that'd be
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Yeah, I did at one point think about getting the primary girls.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That's a good one. That's a good
Yeah,
one.
Yeah, I
because
think
it's
that's
like I
good.
also haven't really seen that. Like when I was doing research. I haven't seen too much of that.
Yeah, I think the 7-inch covers are a good source, because there are a lot of cool
Yeah.
Cure imagery that doesn't get overused too, So
Find old magazine advertisements and pictures and artwork. Because some of that artwork, like the artwork for Primary down at 7-inch, is different from the ad artwork that they used. The ad artwork they used is the one I used for the T-shirt that I made. So it's a little bit different. So I actually like some of that ad artwork that wasn't used for the actual art for any albums or anything, because that's what a lot of the T-shirts I made, a lot of that shit came from, because I thought
Yeah.
it was cooler than what they used when it came to even official promotional shit.
Yeah, for sure. Cool. All right, guys. Well, I'll let you go out there, and thank you so much for
Thank you.
making this work. We got some good, relevant record release, or 2-song release coming up, and we got some
Stop
tattoo
starting
talk.
rumors, Gavin.
And so we'll keep you all posted out there. And thank you again to everybody out there that contributed to this episode and shared your beautiful artwork and stories with us. So
Thank you. Yes, and if you have more, please send them in. We'll save them for our next when we run out of things to talk about.
yeah, we'll do the part 2. It sounds like a good plan there. So you should do sequels to all these. So keep stretching out that timeline until that album comes out. So
What we really need is a tattoo artist that has tattooed Cure stuff before,
yeah, that'd be a good
and have
spin
them
on
on when we do this, and they can give us like a more detailed look into what it would go through.
it. Yeah, how hard that would be and stuff like that would be
Yeah, I
great.
would love that idea. Yeah,
Yeah.
next one. Let's try to do that. That'd be cool.
Sounds good.
We get an origin tale out of it too.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I'll ask Chris if he'd be down to
2
do
for
it.
1.
That did mine.
Hell yeah, cool. All right,
Chris,
sounds
Chris
like a
Coots
plan.
is at 3 Kings Tattoo in Merrick, Long Island, New York.
All right,
Shout out.
tell him the Holy Hour sent you.
yeah, exactly. And you'll get 0%.
You'll get
off.
0% off, but you'll sound cool. Awesome. All right, guys, thank you, and we'll catch you next time. Talk hard.
Don't cry.
All right, again, a very special thank you to Chaz and Antonio for joining me on this episode, and to you guys for sending in your contributions, and the rest of you for listening along. Let's go ahead and wrap this thing up with a big shout out and thank you to our loyal Patreon team. All these people may or may not have tattoos. Donna, Craig, Jeff Hilton, Jeff Cortland Jones, Sue, Ben, John, Alan, Allison, Dion, Namicio, Matt, Danny, Coulter, Matt Ford, Tom Johnson, Tom Burns, Letty, John Roberts, Francisco, Jason, Amber, Nicholas, Arno, Chad, Shirley, Jason Hall, Bunny Lake, and of course Scott Kruger, who is always working hard over at the Sarlacc Digest to bring you the finest Star Wars podcast in the galaxy. It airs every Wednesday evening at 8 p.m. Pacific time on YouTube and Facebook, or catch the replays anywhere you get your podcast. No matter what level Star Wars fan you are, you will love this podcast where Scott and his crew help you digest all your favorite Star Wars topics for over 1,000 years. And Tanya, who would like to spread awareness for 988lifeline.org, a suicide and crisis hotline with over 200 crisis call centers located all over the U.S., available 24/7, offering free and confidential support for people in distress and numerous prevention and crisis resources. Call or chat online if you or anyone you know is in need of help. We all may be in need of help very soon as November approaches, so Dana wants to remind everyone to make sure you are registered to vote and to get out there and actually do it. If you aren't sure where to register in your state, go to vote.gov and they'll steer you in the right direction. And once you've got that all squared away, go check out Dana's animation and illustration work at graphics.tv. That's graphics with an X.tv. And reach out to her if your business or project is in need of a new look. Tim is part of New Waterloo, an independent hospitality development, design, and management company that owns and operates hotels and restaurants all over the U.S. and beyond. Find their many locations at newwaterloo.com. And Kate over at CureThreads.com has a vast catalog of original Cure-inspired designs on a wide range of products, just waiting for you to come check them out. And she also runs Cure Arts Collab on Instagram that compiles all kinds of Cure fan art based on certain themes. The latest theme was a celebration of Robert and Mary's wedding anniversary. So some really truly beautiful designs out there. Congrats to everybody that contributed to that theme. Go check them out and follow that page on Instagram. Lisa recommends that you visit Dickens up in Calgary, Canada, if you want to catch a great show or event up north. And you can see the full listing of their events at dickensyyc.com. Jessica recommends you also check out Club Nevermore down south in Little Rock, Arkansas, if you want to get the full goth experience. For a full listing of their events, go to clubnevermore.com. And don't forget to check out Chaz's other podcast, the Excommunication Station, where he, Donovan, and Chrissy battle the evangelical church. They just did a fantastic episode on snake handlers, so go check that one out. Snakes. Why'd it have to be snakes? So please consider joining our Patreon team. I just posted a new Holy Half-Hour episode. Those are these little extra episodes of me usually just rambling about a Cure topic that wouldn't quite fill a whole hour. So if that's something you might be into, go check out patreon.com/the Holy Hour podcast and see if you want to get on board. And otherwise, please subscribe wherever you're streaming from currently, or follow us on Instagram and Facebook, and subscribe to the YouTube page. And feel free to drop me an email day or night at gavinconnor@gmail.com. And don't forget to check out that Holy Hour merch store. Get yourself a Holy Hour t-shirt. Otherwise, kick back, relax, and enjoy your Monday off. Happy Labor Day weekend, everybody. Be safe out there. And go get yourself a Cure tattoo. Talk hard.
This wave always breaks, I said. This sun always said.